What's up, YouTube? Welcome out to Take a Hike with Jim. My name is Jim, and welcome out to the second video of our big three for our Appalachian Trail through hike coming up in March of 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to start about where I started at and how to get to where I'm going as far as my second of my big three, which obviously is my shelter, right? So originally, I had purchased an Aurora two-person tent, and I love this tent. I didn't get to field test it, but I did take it out and set it up a few times, and the way it's set up and everything, it worked beautifully. But the problems I had with it, with the Aurora two-person tent, was I thought it was relatively a lot wider than a two-person tent. The height was amazing. I wasn't worried about that at all, but it was the overall width and the size. Because in my mind, I've watched a lot of these videos of other thru hikers, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna be in between the February bubble and the March bubble, and I can collide with either one of those bubbles at any time. And you know, different things, and having tent space and stuff like that to be set up at different places, so can be limited. And so I'm thinking, this thing's a little bit wider, don't want it. And then plus, that's a big area to kind of heat with your body heat type of deal. And I've really built my system around warmth, okay, because I am a burn victim, and in saying that, I sleep colder than most males, okay, not all males, but most males. So a lot of my gear that you're going to see is directed directly towards that, okay. So anyway, I tend to sleep colder than most. I wanted to do whatever. So my next thought was, man, this two-person Aurora Nemo is really heavy, right? It's really heavy, so I decided that, you know, 4.5, 5, almost, you know, could be close to 6 pounds. It's too much to carry, right? So I wanted a different one. So I started looking at other tents. I really fell in love with the Gossamer, the one, which of course is a trek pole tent. They got the Gossamer too, and I really fell in love with the idea of the Gossamer. But anyway, so we went down to Damascus to the outfitter store. I was looking for Speed Goat shoes. I was looking for a new pack. There were certain things I was looking for at that time. You heard me talk about that in another video. And while I was there, I was telling them about my tent story. I asked them if they had the Gossamer the one. They did have it. The gentleman told me, he said, listen, he said, you do what you want. He said, but as an experienced Appalachian Trail through hiker, and he told me his class number and all that. He said, I used a trek pole tent. He said, a lot of people do. I'm not putting it down. He said, oh, it's probably one of the most popular tents on trail. He said, but in saying that, he said for him personally, he wished that he would have used another type of tent because of the condensation, getting up with his sleeping bag, his gear, and all this stuff kind of wet and different things. He wished he would have had a different tent. So then a trek pole. So we went from the Nemo to maybe the Gossamer, and landed, let's get a sip of our couple double Java here, and landed with this bad boy. Now, this is the one he brought me over off the shelf and everything, and he said, you know, I didn't have to go with this specific one. There was different models, different things, but this was one that he recommended, that he said he had sold some of, and he had only heard good reviews about. And I tend to agree with him after field testing this, but I do have some issues with it, and we'll go over that. But this is the Nemo Dragonfly one-person tent. It weighs about 2 pounds 1 ounce. Pack weight's about 2 pounds 10 ounces. Although mine's just a little bit heavier because I went after field testing and got some more aluminum stakes put down in the satchel. The aluminum stakes fit in here, the poles and everything fit right here in the stuff sack of this tent. It's easy to get back in this stuff sack. I really like that it makes it easy to get back in the stuff sack, because a lot of times we struggle getting tents back in, you know, folder. Like, how the heck did they? Nemo made it easy with this. So in saying that, they had that. The only problem I had is with the rain guard, which we will get into. But this is a 3-season tent. The Dragonfly is a 3-season tent. It has OSMO, OSMO rain. Ripstop Rainfly, and it has the Osmo flooring in the inside, and it has the bathtub sides and all that good stuff. But it does not come with a footprint. Problem number one. So when it did come with a footprint, they took the footprint out to save on weight. which I feel like they could have used this same material they used for the stuff sack and put in there for a footprint. I think it would have lasted, and it might have added a few ounces, maybe 1 pound to this, which would have made it a lot better in my opinion. So what I purchased was like a 5x5 tarp, which is still up in the air whether or not I'm going to take this tarp with me or not for my footprint. I have field tested, I like it. There's some things I don't like about having a tarp and using a tarp as a footprint, but you know, needless to say, I need some kind of footprint, so that's probably going to be my go-to. And it ain't like it weighs a lot, but I'm still trying to keep my bag weight down, right? The other thing that I have a problem with when it comes to this particular tent is setting up the Rainfly, right? And I have another video after this that I will set up on YouTube today. And now it don't have no talking, I'm not doing no voiceover, nothing like that. It's just a time lapse of me setting this up. And you'll see that setting the tent up overall in the field, there's nothing, I didn't struggle at all, had no problems, but the Rainfly I struggled with. Now, Nemo has a video out there on setting up this tent, and they make the Rainfly look very, very simple, and it probably is. And I've watched the video, I've tried taking this thing out, setting up 2, 3, 4 times, and I always struggle with the Rainfly. I don't know if it's where inexperience when it comes to setting this type of tents up and everything for the Appalachian Trail, or it really is got a level of complication to it, which it shouldn't have. It should be very simplistic, right, in my opinion. But anyhow, that's the two issues I have. It does not, like I said, come with that footprint, and it does not, as the Rainfly to me, does not seem to be as simplistic as Nemo claims it to be. The only thing I wished I would have done different versus the one person, because keep in mind, like I said, in my thought, I'm wanting to build my system around sleeping warmer. So this thing is more narrow. It's like 20 centimeters wide, 40 centimeters tall. I'm thinking that's going to help hold in more heat and body heat and different things like that. And when I field tested it at 36 degrees, I was shedding clothes. I was, for lack of, I don't mean to scar anybody or anything, but I was almost down to my skivvies, so to speak, right? If you know what skivvies are, you just need to Google it, okay? If you know, you know. But anyway, saying that, so I was really impressed with how much heat and stuff it did hold. But the one thing I wished I would have done different, personally, I wished I would have went with the 2-person Nemo, because I'd had just a little bit more space. I find that this vestibule on the Rainfly doesn't work as advertised for me and my pack, which once again, it could be user error, and it probably is. So we'll be setting this up some more throughout the winter here in West by God in order to have field tested our gear. But so maybe we'll learn along the way. I'm not for sure, but I wished I'd have bought the 2-person because I'd had a little bit more room to maybe even put my pack in my tent with me. The way it stands, this thing is so tight, there is no way I'm getting my gear in there with me and comfortably. I guess I could put it down kind of in a corner type of deal, but it's going to be tight, like around my foot box or something like that. But it would be extremely, extremely tight. But you're going to see a video, me uploading a video of this and setting this up. Like I said, it's not going to have any voiceover, nothing like that. It's just a video of me field testing and setting this thing up, and you're going to see how much I struggled with the Rainfly system. Now, overall, like I said, very happy. Out of 5 stars, I'm going to give it a 4.2. I'm very happy with this. Excuse me, overall. Nemo makes great things. Nemo makes great stuff. So this is my tent as of right now when it comes to being out on the Appalachian Trail in 2026. And man, I am so looking forward to being out on trail. I'm excited. I'm already making trail friends out there, right? Already making trail friends. So we'll just back over here. The other thing I want to come on here and say is thank you so much for each and every one of you who's been liking the videos and giving me those thumbs up and subscribing. If you haven't done so already and you're brand new to the page, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, support the channel, and give us a thumbs up right here, and hit that little bell notification so that when the videos go up, you have access to them, you'll know, and different things like that. Now, we are into constructive criticism here. We're not into the negativity stuff. So if you're really negative, and you can be negative about you don't like this gear, that gear. That's not what I'm talking about. If you're on there being like, well, you're, you know, blah, 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 and you're talking, yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't put up with that. You know, constructive criticism is absolutely okay. And you can give and share your opinions, thoughts, and comments and stuff right here on the page. You know, just try to keep it professional and neat and stuff like that, because I'm just not going to deal with the negativity, right? It's not what's going to happen. It's not what this channel is about. I don't attack you. We don't attack each other, and that's just the way that it is. And I know that in its own right opens me up to an attack. I get it. But in saying that, it's just the way it's couple double java. But I'd like to thank you folks out there for the subscriptions. I'd like to thank you for the thumbs up you've been giving me and the views and the watching of the videos and everything. So we will be back with number 3 of our big 3. Right? Number 3 of our big 3 will be our next video, other than the tip videos. Number 3 of our next will be our big 3, and that's our sleep system. Now, the sleep system is currently changing. So even though I do this video, you need to know the sleep system is changing. And when I say it's changing, there's going to be a lot of you agree with it, but there's going to be a lot of people disagree with where I'm going in the direction of my sleep system, right? Keep in mind, originally it was built all for warmth. Now I'm trying to get that comfort and that warmth to kind of equal out just a little bit so that I get good sleep, because good sleep's important for trail and next day on trail and knocking out those miles, right? So make sure you tune in. Make sure you like, share, give us a thumbs up on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel right here on Taking a Hike with Jim. Like I said, I appreciate each and every one of you, and we will see you next time right here on Taking a Hike with Jim. Like I said, my name is Jim. So I think, we got to come up with a way I feel awkward about the way we close videos and everything. We got to come up with a way to close videos. So we're going to do that. So for right now, let's just say, you know what? Take a hike.